everyone, welcome back. We're going to be diving into some brand new products from AzureBeauty. If you are looking for something fresh or even something new, this video is going to be for you. So we're going to be diving into some brand new dip powders and dip liquids. So right off the bat, I'm already admiring this packaging. I love it so much. The attention to detail is definitely hitting when it comes to this packaging, and it's going to pull through and through with the product itself. So stay tuned for that. So we're going to cut open the dip powders here. So the most exciting thing I'm loving about this already is that these are 1 ounce jars, and AzureBeauty has great quality dip powder, so the fact that you can get them in 1 ounce jars now is amazing. Now the packaging is beautiful. We have the same logo here, and I really like that it's a clear jar so you can see what color it is, and then I like the cap as well, and it has the color indicator number on there. And we're going to be playing with all 3 of these beautiful colors today to create a simple set, and we are going to be incorporating these brand new dip liquids. So these dip liquids are not your normal traditional dip liquids. These are a low odor. So I'm very excited about these because dip liquids can tend to bother me depending on how strong they are. Each dip liquid is a little bit differently. Some bother me and some don't. And these ones are the odorless ones. So I'm very excited to test these out. I love that these are in a glass bottle, and I like the attention to detail. We're still pulling in those beautiful pink tones. It's a beautiful glass pink ombre bottle. And anytime I'm playing with a new liquid, I always just like to play with it like you see me doing right here. What I'm doing is I'm examining the viscosity. I'm seeing how much product I'm pulling on that brush, and I'm seeing how much product is left when I'm wiping that brush off on the bottle. And it has a stopper in the bottle as well, which I do love that. And I do appreciate that these are glass bottles. So we're going to dive into all these new products so you can see how these powders perform and the liquids. We are going to be creating a set of press-ons today on the shape medium almond. So we're going to start off with the dip base, and then we're going to pull in the first color here, which I'm so excited about. This is in the color 04, and when I unscrewed this, it was very easy to open the jar and check it out. We have a plastic little cover on here, which I think is a really awesome touch because it's going to prevent any of these powders from spilling out. And I gave these powders a good stir, and we're just going to dive right in here with a very thin layer of that dip base. So I'm starting right below that cuticle line, and then I'm going to work that product all the way up. I will say I do prefer a clear brush on a dip liquid, like the brush that you see here on this wand. And so I'm already kind of loving these liquids, so we'll see how it goes. So we are dipping into the first color here, and now we kind of have a moment of truth. We're going to get a good feel on these powders right away based on right here the coverage. So we have some great coverage right off the bat, and since it is a press-on, even if it wasn't a press-on, I still am going to take that time here and make sure I'm pressing everything down. We're kind of out of screen here. We're going to fix that here in just a moment. But making sure you are pressing everything down when it comes to using dip liquids or the gel method, just taking that extra step is really going to help reduce bulk. Plus, we really want to keep this almond shape of the nail, so just pressing everything down is really going to help just keep everything together. So right here, I'm loving the coverage. Everything's looking good. We kind of have like this slight Aurora effect coming through with like this beautiful periwinkle purple and just like this most delicate sparkle. So we're going to go ahead, we dusted it off, and we're going to build up this color now. We're going in with a second coat of this dip base. Now, I'm not noticing any strong odor when it comes to these dip liquids either. They are supposed to be odorless, so if you've ever experienced dip flu and had any symptoms of a runny nose or your eyes starting to burn when you are using a dip liquid, these might be a good option for you because they are odorless and they're supposed to prevent any of that dip flu. So this might be a great alternative for you, especially if you really enjoy dip liquids. All right, so we did a second coat here and we are building up this color. You can see the color is a little bit deeper here. We have like this beautiful purple. We're building it up with that gorgeous sparkle here, and see how just everything is laying super flat and we don't have any like patchy or streaky coverage. We're getting full coverage here. So we're going to dust it off and we're going to get a good indicator. So right here, I'm loving it. It's kind of giving me, like I said before, like these Aurora type style color, especially with that glitter. It kind of gives it a little bit of almost like a chrome effect when the light hits it. It's really pretty. It's a very beautiful powder. It's a light, delicate color, but it's still giving you like all that glam all in one. I'm really loving it. And now we're going in with a third coat. I really wanted to see what these powders could do with a third dip, and I really wanted to see how the liquids performed with a third dip as well. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to end up doing 3 coats of each color so we could really take these colors to their full potential. All right, so this right here sealed the deal in for me. It is that perfect lavender light purple. This is a great color just to have in your collection. It's a great everyday color. It's also great if you are transitioning into Valentine's Day but don't want like those bright or deep colors. This is a very fun purple that you could definitely pull off for Valentine's Day or even going into spring. This is a great one to have, especially it has the most delicate sparkles on here, but check out the coverage. We do not have any patchy or streakiness to it. We just have the most gorgeous colors. So I'm really excited to see how these other colors perform. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to dive into them, but I am going to go in with this color on one more nail because I wanted to just pull in a little bit more purple, and I'm just making sure that the coverage is looking good and there's no sparse areas, but I'm really impressed with this coverage. All right, so we're going to do the exact same thing on this pinky nail. We're going to pull in that purple, and then stay tuned. We are going to be diving into the other colors. I do like how this brush fans out. There's just something about these clear brushes. I feel like they're a little bit softer and they work really good with this dip liquid formula. I feel like the wands that have like the black bristles on them, those are a little bit more stiffer. So I do prefer the clear ones. The white ones I just feel like are too soft. These ones are just like just right. If you've been playing with dip liquids for a while, you definitely would notice a difference with those clearer brushes. There's just something about them, and I do like how it fans out. And with these dip liquids, a little bit goes a long way, so just keep that in mind when you're working with it. Just make sure you are wiping away any excess on that bottle before you go ahead and apply the dip liquid to your nail, because a little bit does go a long way. So we're going to continue building up the coverage here. We're going to dust off. So right here you can get a good indicator of 3 dips versus 1. Even with 1 dip, it still looks really good. If you're not looking up like to build up strength or anything, and you just want like a very just like beautiful delicate color, and you're just looking for 1 coat, this is a great 1 coat coverage as well. If you're just looking for like that sheerness factor and just a little bit of sparkle over your jelly tips and you're not looking to build up that strength, this is a great color to have for like a 1-over color. I just love it so much. So right here, I'm not having any sparkles on that brush or anything like that. I am wiping off that brush on the paper towel on the side there when we go over each dip, just to make sure we're getting rid of any extra dip powder on that brush before we stick it back in the bottle, because I do not want to cross-contaminate. And I'm not noticing any of these fine glitters sticking to the brush either. There is a brush cleaner that is included in the dip liquid, so if you are experiencing any of those fine glitters sticking to the brush, you could always go ahead and stick that dip base brush into the brush cleaner bottle. Just let it sit in there for a minute and shake it a little bit, and you'll be good to go. So here you can see we are definitely building up that color, and I just really like how how many coats you're doing, it still looks really good, and the coverage is not splotchy or patchy. And that's something that can be hit or miss when you are purchasing dip powders. Sometimes, especially if they are more on that acrylic side, the color payoff might not be there, or they're going to be really patchy or look a little bit cloudy. And I'm not experiencing anything like that when it comes to these dip powders. They're very soft, they're very buttery, they're very fluffy, they're very finely milled, so you're getting a great color payoff. And I'm loving this perfect color sparkle right here. All right, so enough chit chat. Let's dive into the rest of these colors so you can see them in action. You will notice, again, I will take my time making sure everything is laying super flat before we go in with that next coat, just to make sure we're keeping the shape of the nail and helping reduce the bulk. It's also going to help cut down on our filing and buffing, so keep that in mind. If you are doing your nails, just spend that extra time making sure everything is laying super flat. It will definitely save you that time during filing and buffing. All right, so we're going to give this a good stir and check out how fluffy these powders are. It's kind of like you're stirring into a cloud right now, and they feel very luxurious, and I'm loving that jar. It's beautiful. All right, so enough chit chat. Let's dive into the rest of these 2 colors, and I'm going to pop back in just a little bit.
I really wanted to get it right, trying to find some balance in my life, but I never really put up a fight. Didn't follow my dreams, and now I'm losing sleep. What if I lost if I'll never get it right? I try to follow my heart, but I lost it somehow. Wish that someone could say it'll all be okay. Just listen to me as I say. You will find a way. Slow it down. Dreams still yours if you want it. Enjoy the ride, 'cause those ups and those downs is what makes it worth the run.
a new home for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. My way. My way. My way. My way. Cause I found my way. My way. My way. My way. My way. I found my way. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way. I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. My way. My way. My way. My way. Cause I found my way. My way. My way. My way. My way. I found my way. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way. I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way.
All right, so here's what we're working with. We use all three colors, and now it's time to bring these colors to life and start the filing and buffing. So we're gonna do a layer of activator on all of the nails. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply a generous amount over the entire nail. Make sure that you don't have any bare spots. Make sure you're hitting the activator on all of the nails. If in doubt, you could always go over once you apply it and do a second coat. So right now you can see these colors are just coming to life once that activator hits it too, so you can kind of get a good indicator of that beautiful sparkle. So now that we have the activator on the nails, I'm going to let this sit for about 4 minutes, making sure that that activator penetrates through all those layers, and then making sure that that nail is completely hardened. And then we're going to go into filing and buffing. So filing and buffing was super easy. I did not clear encapsulate because I wanted to put these dip powders to the test to kind of see how they held up without that extra layer of protection. Since this was such a fine glitter, it wasn't a chunky glitter or anything like that. We weren't going to be cutting into anything. So I was confident that we were going to have a good smooth sailing when it came to filing and buffing. And we did take that time to press everything down. So filing and buffing is pretty minimal. We just did a buff, and now we're just going to clean up the shape a little bit here, making sure I'm cleaning up underneath that side of that press on too, so we have a good clean finish when we apply the press on to the natural nail here. But I'm just cleaning up the shape. But filing and buffing was super easy. The powders stayed true. They're still beautiful. I did not take any chunks out or anything like that when it came to filing and buffing. I did not have any cloudiness on any of the areas. they filed like a dream without that clear layer of protection. So just keep that in mind. If these had like chunkier silver pieces in there, you definitely would want to put a clear barrier on there because you would definitely damage the chunkier glitters. But check it out, we have the most gorgeous finish here, and I'm actually super impressed with how easy these were to file and buff. So I did the rest of the filing and buffing off camera just to save some time, and we are almost to that finish line. So we're just going to go ahead and give these nails an extra dust here before we go in with that final layer of activator, just to make sure there's not any of that extra loose powder lingering on those nails. And now we're going to go ahead and bring these nails back to life here with that final layer of activator. I'm just doing a generous amount on all the nails here, and you can see we have just this color kind of shining through. All that dullness is gone. We got rid of any of those harsh filing and buffing lines, and we are just sealing in these nails for that last step. So right here, here's what we're working with. I'm loving it with that like kind of a matte finish. It's really pretty. So this is kind of an idea of what it would look like with a matte finish before we go in and make it glossy. But I let that activator sit for about 2 minutes, and now I'm going to go in with a lint-free wipe, and I'm just going to make sure I'm giving these nails a good wipe down. I'm making sure I'm getting rid of any of that extra activator that may be lingering behind. This is definitely a very important step, especially if you are looking to preserve your dip liquids. This is going to help not cross-contaminate your liquids. It's going to help your brush from not being hard. It's going to help prevent that, because what's going to happen if you went in with that final step of that dip top coat and you did not wipe these nails off, you could risk hardening your brush. All right, so the final step here, we're going in with the top coat. So I'm so excited to try these. Normally the top coat for me when it comes to dip liquids is the strongest part of the whole process. It has a very strong chemical scent, and I am not experiencing any smell when it comes to these dip liquids. So the first step here, you're doing 4 to 3 swipes on the nail, and then we'll go ahead and get more precise with that second application of the top coat. So you can see here, I'm just doing just one swipe here, another one here, and then one more, and then one more on the side here, and then we're just going to wipe our brush off as well in between each coat. So just keep that in mind. Always take that extra time to wipe off your brush before you stick it back in the bottle. And now for that last layer of the top coat, we can definitely be more precise in our application, and we can take our time. Just that first go around, you just want to be quick and just do 3 to 4 quick swipes on that entire nail, and then the second time around you can be more precise in your application. I will say these dip liquids, they're magical, because I have tried low odor dip liquids before. I even tried ones that claimed they were odorless and they still had a chemical scent. It wasn't as harsh, but it was just like slightly like lingering. These do not have an odor to them, so I don't know what kind of magic is in here. And they also performed really good. Sometimes when you're playing with low odor or odorless dip liquids, they dry super slow. They start cracking. I did not experience any of that. I did play with this set and I wore it for 4 days, and I did everyday things, dishes, all that stuff. I did not experience any cracking or yellowing either. A lot of times when you're playing with an odorless or low odor dip liquid set, they can start to turn yellow, and you'll have that yellow factorness to it, like that dingy yellow, but I did not experience that with this brand, so that is definitely exciting. All right, so here's our finished set. It's very simple. You got to see these powders in action. They are gorgeous. They are gorgeous. They have the most beautiful shimmer to it, kind of like an opalescence to it. It's really pretty. They definitely are giving me like all those Aurora unicorn vibes. They're very delicate and beautiful, very finely milled. The color is there. If you are in the market or want to play with something new this year, definitely give these a go. They're really beautiful. And as for the dip liquids, if you suffered from dip flu before or are sensitive to those strong dip liquids, give these a go. They're a medium dry time. They're really easy to work with. I really like the thin viscosity and the consistency of them. If you like making press-ons, this might be a great alternative for dip liquids because of just that thin consistency, which is going to help you really cut down on that bulk. And again, a little bit of those liquids do go a long way, so just keep that in mind when you are working with that dip base. But overall, I'm actually really impressed on how well these powders perform. So definitely check them out. There's some other colors too that AzureBeauty has to offer. There's also some really fun dip powder kits, and they have a great color selection when it comes to those kits, and they're really fun. All right, so I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you all in the next one.